The year is 2019. If a scientist, a real PhD-holding, lab coat-wearing expert, had walked up to you and said, "There's a highly contagious, novel respiratory virus coming from animals, and it will shut down the global economy, confine 4 billion people to their homes, and inspire an unprecedented number of TikTok dances," what would you have done? You probably would have laughed, maybe backed away slowly, and then gone back to scrolling through memes. Well, guess what? They did warn us, not just in 2019, but for decades. And the real comedy, or tragedy, depending on how much toilet paper you manage to hoard, is that we keep doing the same thing. Our history with pandemics isn't a timeline of progress, it's a looping blooper reel of collective human failure. The most dangerous contagion isn't the virus itself, it's our own spectacular, self-defeating ignorantium bias. We're not talking about some obscure fortune teller from a poorly funded carnival. We're talking about the World Health Organization, WHO, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, and the world's leading epidemiologists, people whose job description is literally to worry about things that don't exist yet. For years, they've been yelling from the scientific rooftops, equipped with data, mathematical models, and historical precedent. And for years, our governments, our media, and yes, us, the general public, have collectively treated those warnings like the terms and conditions pop-up on a new app. Scroll, ignore, and click agree to the coming chaos. Let's rewind to the granddaddy of modern viral stupidity, the Spanish flu of 1918. If you think government censorship and media downplaying are modern problems, allow me to introduce you to the early 20th century. During World War I, the US, Britain, and other nations were hyper-focused on maintaining morale. If a doctor raised the alarm about a devastating new flu strain sweeping through military camps, they were essentially told, "That's great, Doc. Now shut up and paint another 'everything is fine' poster." The media, eager to support the war effort, largely ignored or minimized the flu's severity. They had a war to report, not a sniffle. The few medical journals that did publish dire warnings were buried under front-page headlines celebrating marginal military victories. The result? The virus killed an estimated 50 million people worldwide, more than the war itself. The lesson learned? Apparently, we learned that a good PR campaign is more important than public health. Our ancestors, bless their oblivious hearts, essentially chose to die for the sake of good vibes.
Now, fast forward to the 1980s, the AIDS crisis. This is a masterclass in how prejudice can perfectly lubricate the wheels of scientific denial. Early warnings from medical professionals about a strange new immune deficiency syndrome were initially dismissed because, well, the illness seemed confined to specific marginalized communities. It was easy for the general population and politicians to categorize it as not my problem. Researchers desperately needed funding and attention to understand and track the rapidly spreading human immunodeficiency virus, HIV. But the warnings were met with silence, apathy, and sometimes outright hostility. The collective response was a slow, moralizing shrug. The result? A tragic delay that cost countless lives and allowed the virus to become a global pandemic. Our logic? If a problem isn't knocking on your door, it doesn't exist. It's the ultimate out of sight, out of mind fallacy. Except the mind here belongs to a species that claims to be the smartest on the planet. And the hits keep coming. Before the latest global shutdown, we had dress rehearsals. SARS in 2003, H1N1 in 2009, MERS in 2012, and Ebola outbreaks. Each time, experts from the WHO and regional health bodies issued detailed reports, stressing the need for better surveillance, stronger supply chains for personal protective equipment, or PPE, and clear, pre-planned public communication strategies. What happened? A brief flash of panic, a flurry of media coverage, and then the inevitable: collective amnesia. Budgets for pandemic preparedness were slashed, stockpiles of essential supplies were neglected. Why?
because the problem went away. Our human logic dictates that if an alarm goes off and there's no immediate fire, you don't fix the alarm, you just unplug it. It's too expensive, too disruptive, and frankly, who wants to think about bad news when the stock market is up? Perhaps the most insidious, ignored warning of our time is the silent, ongoing pandemic of antimicrobial resistance, or AMR, or superbugs. This isn't a future threat. It's a problem right now. For decades, scientists have been screaming that our overuse of antibiotics in medicine and agriculture is creating strains of bacteria that are completely immune to our best drugs. They warn that we are heading back to a pre-antibiotic era, where a simple scratch could be a death sentence. The warnings are clear, the data is overwhelming, and yet the necessary global regulatory action and R&D investment move at the speed of a sloth trying to cross quicksand. Why? Because a superbug infection is an invisible threat, a slow burn that doesn't generate the instant terrifying headlines of a novel virus. It lacks the drama needed to pierce our thick layer of denial. We prefer the quick, sharp shock to the slow, inevitable creep.
So where does this leave us? We are a species with incredible foresight, capable of predicting solar eclipses, mapping the genome, and sending robots to Mars. Yet, when faced with an existential threat that requires sustained effort, political will, and a little bit of shared sacrifice, we freeze. We ignore the experts who have dedicated their lives to protecting us, preferring the comfort of the moment over the safety of the future. We treat a global health crisis like a personal inconvenience, and the inconvenient truth is that our greatest weakness isn't biological, it's behavioral. We have, time and time again, shown that we only believe in a crisis when the body bags are visible on the evening news. The experts are still warning us, by the way. They're warning about climate change, about the next zoonotic spillover event, and about that forgotten stockpile of old flu shots. The question isn't whether the next pandemic will come. The question is, when the next inevitable warning sounds, will we finally break the loop of human ignorance, or will we just start scrolling for a new set of memes to share from lockdown?